What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another video. In this video, you already know who I got with me. It's my boy Ian. We're going to be going through a couple questions, kind of just answering some things. He has a couple Bible verses that we're also going to read that correlate with the questions and just kind of get into it today.
I just created this little card game, bro, purpose cards, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, that's just what I've been having a lot of projects just based off of purpose, bro. Like that's my biggest message I've always put out there, and that's something that, you know, I strive for each and every day, bro. So like this card game is kind of to help people navigate through those type of questions that you might ask or come across one day.
All right, so the question is, when you think about your future, do you feel hopeful or uncertain? For myself, I feel very hopeful. For myself, I've always been working on building up and building the foundation. So I know that what I'm working on is going to matter in the future. Whenever I have my family, whenever I start my investments, whenever I start the other projects that I want to do, is going to lead into certainty that I'm going to be successful. As well as for myself, I know that I've always been really big on setting like the course for my life because I'm thinking about futuristic events. So I would say I'm actually very certain on it. Are you certain? Are you uncertain?
I feel like there can be times easily when you're uncertain about your future, of course, right? Whenever like doubt and fear sets in, you're trying to take that real leap of just trying to be somewhere that you've never been before, or do things that you've never done before, stuff like that. But, you know, on the other side of that uncertainty is also hopefulness. So if you can get through that first stage of being uncertain about things, then that hopefulness will eventually come, because then you'll learn to be comfortable in that uncomfortable situation, ideally.
A lot of people, they have the fear of they don't know what their future is going to hold or what that future really looks like. I would advise that if you are in a place where you're like a little uncertain, understand what God really has for you in this season of your life. Because some people, they start something, they want to get into something, and then it doesn't work out for the long term. It doesn't work out past a couple months. And now you're like, well, what do I do now? So understand the season that God has you in to be able to maximize on that potential of whatever it is that you're working on. That's what I would tell someone if you are in that uncertain space in your life. All right, so we got the Bible verse. It says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." So that's Jeremiah 29:11. That's what that reads.
All right, I'm gonna pick another question though. This question is, if fear wasn't in the way, what would you do right now? If fear wasn't in the way, what would I do right now? I feel like I would ultimately chase my ultimate dream, which is to be a speaker. And if I had no fears, I would just show up probably to the biggest stadium that I would think of, or somewhere probably in the country, and just show up and like invite a bunch of people, go all out, go meet a bunch of different people, you know, network, you know what I'm saying? Just to be out there and see how many people I could meet. And then eventually, out of all those people that I meet, who are the few connections that I can keep up with and stuff like that, that's gonna ultimately give me those type of opportunities that I'm looking for, you know what I'm saying?
I know that for myself, whenever I go somewhere, I'm always trying to look for the next networking, you know, space. And, you know, for you to want to break that fear of talking to people, eventually it's going to come. I don't know how much do you already network and talk to people?
Somewhat. In my part of where I live at right now is a little different, but yeah, trying to network.
Well, I think what I realized for myself, anytime you go somewhere, it could be out to eat, it could be to a store, there's people that have to work there. So that means there's opportunity for you to meet somebody. So if you just talk to them, get to know them a little bit, you know, maybe you talk about their job. You know, for me, I like to talk about them personally because they start talking a lot. And then you connect with them after and be like, oh, we should connect on, you know, Instagram or social media, or let me get your number. You seem like a cool person, and kind of go from there, because you just never know who you meet, especially if you're like in the business world and you're meeting someone at a job that might not enjoy what they do. So now they're looking for the next thing, and now they met you because you have that, you know, that gateway, that avenue for them to get out of that situation. You know what I'm saying? So connecting and networking is one of the most powerful things.
The verse on the back says, Isaiah chapter 41, verse 10, "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous hand." Isaiah 41:10.
So the next question is, when do you feel most alive? Like when you're living on purpose? I think for myself, I feel most alive whenever I'm impacting. If anything that you guys have learned is that the power of impact for me I've understood that that is probably one of the most powerful things that you can leave with somebody. That's conversations, that's laughs, that's interactions, that's questions, that's getting to know people. I realize that the power of impact makes me feel more alive because I realize that I have some type of value in someone else's life. The more that I talk to them, maybe I change their mentality. The more that I work with someone, maybe I change their financial understanding. The more that I learn from someone, I can gain knowledge from someone, and I can have impact to them to understand who they are, maybe helping them feel heard, whatever that case is, right? And I know that whenever you work through yourself and you go through these different stages, you're going to impact people all around you, but you have to understand where that starts from. So I would say, I feel most alive, or I feel like I'm most on my purpose when I'm impacting people. What would you say that you feel most alive in your purpose?
I'll say I feel most alive in my purpose whenever I am performing in my gift, right? Whether that is within your job, within your relationships, within your whatever you really do, discipline with yourself and things like that, man. Like when you know you have a gift, you know that came from God, and all things that come from God are good things, right? That's what the word says. So if you are blessed to speak, if you are blessed to be physically stronger than other people, if you're blessed to be smarter than other people, if you're blessed to, work on cars or do anything, you know what I'm saying? It's not always about money, right? It's not always about followers or anything like that, but it's about like awareness to your gift, right? God wants you to be able to serve people and do these things in life. So like that's what we're all really striving for at the end of the day, if you really think about it. Influence is just trying to use your gift, right, to benefit others, right? Not just benefit yourself, because anyone that really knows how to like go into certain industries and to make like wealth or anything like that, it's always from influencing others, right? You don't, because whenever you're going through things, that's what influences you. It's experience, right? People influence other people, but experience influences us the most, because that becomes your personality, that becomes your temperament, that becomes your habits and things like that. So, performing in my gift is whenever I feel most alive, because then that I feel like is raising awareness to what God has given me. And that's something I just really thought about just now. So honestly, yeah, like you're using your gift and like feeling most alive is like, that's just really raising awareness to what God has given you, and now that you want to show others and benefit others through that.
This one is, the thief comes only to steal and to kill and destroy. I have come that they may have life and have it in full. It's John 10:10. I just want to give you guys a little sneak peek. My boy, he's about to be going on tour, chat. About to be going global. If you guys want to see more of these questions, you got a whole stack right here. You got to be aware. You can follow him on Instagram. He might be in your city.
I'm saying, man, we're going to go ahead and tag my YouTube, tag the Instagram, do all that stuff, bro. At the end of the day, we are all here, like I said, to make impact and to use our gift. And then you do that by bringing others in and having that influence, having that group around you to hold you up and to do those things, you know what I'm saying? We all dream to see ourselves like on the big screen and to do stuff like that. But, bro, you have to do the little things, right? You got to do the things behind closed doors. You got to do the things whenever you're not being recorded. Do those things right, and then ultimately like that's gonna put you forward whether you see it or not. You cannot measure success by anything with like a ruler or anything like physical. Success is only measured by what you think it is and how you truly feel and how alive you feel and how good you feel about it. But yeah, man, that's all we got for y'all. Here come a motorcycle. All right. But man, that's it, bro. Appreciate y'all for tapping in with us as always, bro, being there for us. So we gonna catch y'all on the next one.